All this morning for attending. I recognize we've got a lot of other committees and other things going on right now. Appreciate the press that has shown up. Senator Gardenhire and I would like to take questions at the end of our remarks. If you will please allow us to do that. But Senator Gardenhire and I called this press conference today for three main reasons, and we'll walk through those. First and foremost, we want the people of Tennessee to know that Democrats and Republicans can work together to advance sound economic and civil justice policy. We're not Washington, and I think that all of us should collectively be very thankful for that fact. I want to personally thank Senator Lee Harris, who's with us this morning, and also Representative Jernigan for being the first two primary co-sponsors for this legislation, for the what we've deemed the Tennessee Freedom from Traffic Cameras Act. Second, the rule of law, the integrity of law enforcement, and the court system in our state must be preserved. From the inception, traffic camera citations have, in my view, been fundamentally flawed. The very first sentence of the statute that describes the allowance for these cameras plainly exemplifies this fallacy upon which the whole system is built. The Tennessee Code annotated 55-8-198 clearly says, a traffic citation that is based solely upon evidence obtained from an unmanned traffic enforcement camera shall be considered a non-moving traffic violation. So let's get this clear. How is running a red light or how is speeding considered a non-moving violation? In addition to this legal fallacy, the right of one to face their accuser in court and the presumption of innocence form the bedrock of our judicial system, and without a doubt, camera-based law enforcement systems can only work when these principles are ignored or denied. Benjamin Franklin once noted that they that can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And I know those are strong words, but we need to think about the incrementalism of us marching toward that ability of giving up our essential liberty. And as we speak of safety, at best, the guise of safety is an unfortunate logical fallacy. At worst, it's purposeful manipulation. The simple truth is that multiple studies have called into question the validity of evidence presented in favor of using traffic enforcement cameras due to an inherent bias. The vast majority of these peer-reviewed studies have shown that cameras actually lead to more accidents and disincentivize cities to seek safer engineering practices as alternatives because of, unfortunately, the almighty dollar. A peer-reviewed study of traffic cameras, and specifically red light cameras in Florida, revealed multiple staggering statistics, which I think are worth noting. A direct quote from the study says that the studies that best adhered to scientific research methods found that red light cameras were associated with increases in crashes and injuries. The study goes on to note that the actual average, and these are averages that include and exclude the cost of fatalities, but in this particular instance, including the cost of fatalities, actually increased from $82,816 per incident prior to the cameras being installed to $100,176 after the cameras were installed per incident. And that was over a study that included 7 different red light cameras. In addition to the direct safety concerns with these devices, as I've just described, it has been widely recognized that the control of these devices can be subjective and manipulated, and the manipulation of the yellow light time can greatly influence the occurrence of the number of citations, and generally speaking, can also greatly influence the revenue derived from these devices. Study after study has proven that increasing the length of the yellow light ultimately leads to higher levels of safety and reductions in fatal and non-fatal accidents. But the trend, unfortunately, has been toward shortening the yellow light on many traffic signals. So some would say that a gamble has taken place in municipalities across our state and in other states that has gambled on higher revenue and fire safety. For some, that may not be enough. Therefore, we'd like for you to also consider a third reason why we've called this conference, and I'll turn it over to Senator Gardenhire.
Thank you, Representative Holt. You know, he's hit on the main subjects, but let's talk about one of the subjects he talked about, and that's where the municipalities or the companies involved actually lowers the time of the yellow lights. It used to be all the yellow lights were 10 seconds in length, and now they're sometimes 4 seconds or 5 seconds, depending on what speed limit they put in front of the camera. And you can't make a decision that quick to stop or gut it, you know, gun the engine to take off and go through the yellow light. And by the time you get through the yellow light, you're going to get a ticket. And if you put your brakes on real quick, you're going to get rear-ended by somebody. And it's just a manipulation of the system to gather more revenue. You know, a lot of revenue that's gathered by this. Take, for instance, Murfreesboro collected $1.1 million, and the city only kept $225,000, and almost 80% of the money left the Tennessee economy. There's a golden rule up here in Nashville. That's to follow the money. And when the money goes to somebody else and it doesn't go to the education classes that are supposed to be happening, then that's the whole thing. A lot of those municipalities set up the cameras incorrectly. I mean, the law is very clear when you set up a speed camera. You have to have 500 feet before. There has to be a sign up. Some of them put the sign up right on the camera, so where you don't know it until it's too late. It's very simple to follow, but yet they can't follow those rules. So I was glad to sign on with Representative Holt's bill, and we hope to get some traction. I know that people in my district is just overwhelmingly in favor of this bill, and they don't like the idea of not being able to face your accuser.
Sure. I want to say thank you to Senator Gardenhire for sponsoring this on the Senate side, and also thank you to Representative Holt for his leadership on this and bringing this proposal. I think that this is bipartisan. I think that Democrats and Republicans across the state and in many quarters agree that these things are a scourge and we need to do something about them. Just speaking of Representative Holt, we couldn't be more different on many issues. I'm a very proud liberal Democrat, and he's a very proud conservative. I'm from a city, urban center, and he's from a less urban center. I think he has a farm. I've never been on a farm. But when it comes to red light cameras, we can find common ground. And so I appreciate his willingness to take a leadership role and really try to build some momentum to move Tennessee forward in this respect. I mean, I'll be real short. I think that both these gentlemen have already spoken to the various issues here. I mean, these things, in my view, are un-American. Because in America, we've got a tradition that you are innocent until proven guilty. And red light cameras fly in the face of that. At the same time, in the city of Memphis, which runs one of the largest red light programs in the state of Tennessee and in the country, these things undermine the quality of life in our city. They frustrate citizens. They make them mad at government. They undermine all of our credibility. And these things distract from real public safety innovations that we could all, rally around, like traffic calming devices and speed bumps and things that are really affecting and plaguing neighborhoods, at least the neighborhoods I represent, and that the citizens are crying for. They're not crying for red light cameras. So I hope we're able to do something about this, and I think the time is now. Thank you. Representative Holt.
At this time, we will take any questions that anyone has.